Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we'll be discussing our thoughts on episode 7 of the anime series, Orange. Oh man, this one cut at the heart of me. Dealing with Kakeru's birthday, and in the original history, the future versions of our cast didn't know it was his birthday, didn't get to celebrate it with him, and this apparently added to the insult and injury of how badly Kakeru was already feeling, to the point of a very shocking revelation that he had actually made a suicide attempt before he would eventually succeed in taking his own life the day after Valentine's Day. He tried to hang himself because of how bad he felt, even after a weekend of time spent with old friends from Tokyo, who apparently he confessed his poor emotions and feelings to, and they just sort of, laughed it off and didn't take him seriously, with how badly he was feeling after the death of his mother. And to see that it was a text he sent her, this is why he feels so bitter and so guilt-ridden about this, because he had gotten to feeling like his mother was a nag, like she was a pain. Grow up, mother, you're an adult, you can take care of yourself. I want to go out and hang out with these new friends that I have. He just wanted to have a life of his own. He didn't want to have to be, sort of shackled to his mother for the rest of her life. And he wanted a life of his own. He wanted friends of his own. He wanted to go out and have fun like any normal 17-year-old or 16-year-old would do. And it was really just a shame to hear through Suwa's revelation, of course, playing on from the revelation at the end of the last episode, that he too has gotten a letter from the future, that a lot of the things are running parallel between what elder Suwa, future Suwa, and future Naho are telling their younger counterparts. Whether this is an alternate world or whatever it is, Suwa is very much aware of the fact that things are not unfolding exactly as the letters dictate, and that could be anything down to time changing to, again, alternate worlds, parallel worlds. And but it's very interesting to learn as well that there are aspects of the letter Suwa had written to himself that the Suwa in the here and now doesn't feel are, important, air quotes. Naho's asking where's the rest of his letter, and he's just kind of like shrugging that off as well. And I started to wonder if there's something about her contained therein that he doesn't want to reveal to her, that kind of thing. But, it's Kakeru's birthday, and this plays out differently and for the better, I think, where they can actually, they're all asking him, Hagita's like, what do you want? And Azu and Takako, they're all asking him, what do you want? And he's like, I don't want anything, and they're all assuring him we're not thinking about gifts or anything like that, but like if you did want something. And he's like, okay, well, give me the first volume of the manga you said was hilarious. I'd like to read it. Give me tickets to that soccer game, and all this kind of stuff. So he is asking for stuff, and they do get this stuff together. And I do find it quite interesting that the future versions of the characters also got all of the same gifts together. In, the aftermath of Kakeru's loss, they couldn't celebrate this birthday, and yet they still knew what gifts to get him. Like, did they question him after the fact? Like, well, if you ever have a birthday again, next year, hopefully, if nothing happens, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And that's how the future versions knew. Like, Suwa, he tells Suwa he'd like a bouquet of flowers. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, I know where this is going. And he wanted to give it to Naho. And as we see, with all these present-day versions of the characters being able to celebrate this birthday, of course, Kakeru feels like he's put on the spot. He's all nervous. He said, I was joking about the flowers, and the other guy's laughing, Hagita's laughing and everything, and they're calling Suwa names and all that kind of stuff. But he makes good on his promise. This is one of the things I love about this series. The characters are very reserved, very, sort of timid. Their culture being influential in their, being timid toward each other and not wanting to come right out and profess their interests in each other. There's a level of personal anxiety where we all go through that, like I have a crush on this girl, or a girl has a crush on this guy, any way you want to mix that up. And, what will that person think of me? What if that person doesn't like me? What if that person turns me down? And there is a large part of ourselves that, is be filled with reluctance to make any steps forward sometimes because of that. It's very easier said than done sometimes to say, well, have courage and just do it. Just go up and introduce yourself. Just go up and say hi. This is advice I would get all through growing up, and it never worked. It never paid off. And more often than not, it just made me that much further assured that I should just shut up, clam up, and go off on my own. And that's what these characters are going through. They don't want to be put on the spot in front of their whole posse of friends. Kakaru wants to confess to Naho, and Naho wants very much to confess to him. But neither one of them can necessarily be assured that the other is feeling the same way. For these characters, for what they're going through, it's not enough. Saying so is not enough. Its actions are louder than words. And when Kakaru is given the opportunity, he makes good on it. This is much different from any of the circumstances, any of the events as they unfolded for the future cast of these characters. There was never a birthday at all. And the Naho of that future world, she's only told by that point where they try to make up for the birthday that was never celebrated. Is it exposed to her? She was the one of Kakaru's most affection. She was his pointed interest. And so this is why I think they felt it was so important to write those letters. I don't think those letters have yet been written in the future. I think we're seeing the characters building up to sending those letters back or across dimensions or whatever it is. And what I really love, while it did take her a little while, Naho finally confessed her feelings as well. And it was just beautiful, that moment between the three of them, Suwa, Kakaru, and Naho, where, it begins with Naho pleading for him not to go with his friends from Tokyo over the weekend, to hang out with us instead. And then Suwa, again, putting that sort of, I don't want to say forceful pressure, but just exposing the fact that, look, we know how badly you feel. Talk to us. We're your friends. We're better friends to you than those other people would be. They'll laugh you off. We will be here for you. We won't turn a blind eye. And when they embrace, when Suwa embraces Kakaru and tells him it's not your fault, oh God, I got misty-eyed, and I didn't know how this was going to finish out. But Naho takes this opportunity, this most poignant of opportunities, to let Kakaru know, I feel the same way you do. And while it does help him feel better, it's down to Naho's awareness, her sense of intellect and perception, that his smile is yet still a sad one. There's still sadness behind his eyes. We're not done. There's still more to do to keep him from taking his life. Just such an emotional sequence. When their tears begin shedding, I began to get misty-eyed as well and choked up as well. And I love that Azu and Takako were actually standing outside the room the entire time listening to this. I still have to wonder how much they're aware of, whether it's just been a coincidence that they've been so closely involved, or if they too have letters from the future. It was just an amazing moment to feel that the bittersweet happiness of Naho confessing to Kakaru as he had done to her, and Suwa being once again the man, not letting this lie, much as what Naho tried to do during the festival night with Kakaru. I guess maybe it's easier coming from Suwa because there isn't a romantic interest between Kakaru and Suwa. If it's coming from Naho, it's this girl he likes very much, and it's maybe more painful to be, sort of regarded that way or questioned that way. But these three characters came together, and their friends know what's going on. And that's beautiful. It's a beautiful portrait. And I think the only other thing I have left to say about this particular episode is, damn, Ueda's ticking me off. The way she gets up in Naho's face, the way she's trying to bully her. I mean, Naho wants to get him a sports bag because he doesn't have one. The mother had gotten rid of it because of his promise not to get involved with any of these school clubs and whatever like that. And Ueda wants to do it because she actually thinks she still has a chance. And I love that Azu and Takako call her on it. He dumped you. You're done. And all she can do before Takako practically face smacks her, you know, like, I was like, yeah, punch her in the head, for crying out loud. Not that I condone violence, but I mean, she was asking for it. But I'm glad Takako actually reined herself in, and all she could do was stick her tongue out and run away. I don't know if this is the last we're going to see of Ueda, but, yeah. What a bitch. So, I mean, this was just an emotional episode. And, bittersweet. Ends much more with a sweetness by the end, but still very much bittersweet. And I can't wait to see what happens next. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you've seen episode 7 of Orange, what you thought of it, if you enjoyed it as much as I did, if you found it as bittersweet as I did and emotional as I did as well. And, yeah. So otherwise, it'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.